Past the halfway point in the 2019 Canadian Rally Championship, the teams head west to face off in the mountains once again. With his main championship rivals staying home, Carré has made the trip in search of major points.
We're aiming for the best points possible, but we're not aiming for a win at all costs.
We've got nothing to lose, so we could take a little bit more risk and, hopefully we can go for a podium spot, if not the overall.
But Mother Nature is having none of it. Snow in September in the high mountains. Will the extreme conditions level the playing field for unique talent to shine? Or will the second-generation ice and snow master run away with it? It's the Pacific Forest Rally, and it starts now. Welcome to Merritt, British Columbia, home of the Pacific Forest Rally. Snow has blanketed the hills around town, leaving teams guessing as to what tire choice will be best for the conditions.
After what happened at Défi, we decided to come here and maybe score a few points. Tire choice has been something quite special to think of. We had a special cart in our pockets, which are C5 tires. They're kind of made for a gravel stage, but with light snow, exactly like we're supposed to have up there.
It's been an interesting day of recce so far. Tons of snow coming down up in the hills, but pretty just wet and moist down at the lower elevations, which is kind of thrown into a weird tire strategy game. So it seems like most everybody's running out with gravels for this Friday stages. So I think they're counting on people making some tracks and then keeping it together if you're further down the pack. In the front end of the field, though, it's kind of a toss-up. Do you go with the snow tires to get better traction, or you go with the gravels to get a stronger tire that may not flat?
So this weekend I'm third on the road, which is a new position for me. I've never been quite so far ahead in the field, but with these tricky conditions, my main goal is just to stay on the road and finish the rally. From everything I've heard, I'm going with gravel today. I think we might get some snow overnight, but we'll see. Hopefully I made the right choice.
At the moment, there's no snow, so we think that the gravel tire is the better choice. But we could be very wrong. We will see what Philip is doing. He is running A34s.
So some say we may have made a stupid choice, but I'm still confident. There'll be much snow still left, and we'll see who made the good choice.
The weather is really wild. I don't know what it's doing up there. I don't think anybody does, but we'll throw some.
You do.
I do?
Yeah, you do.
But we got gravels on. We'll go see what we can get done.
You can do this.
No, I know.
Believe in yourself.
And
Don't look at the rest.
You too.
I know I can. I did it already.
Oh! Very good.
Fun and games aside, it's time to head for the mountains. It's wet snow on top of mud for most of the 8 stages. 36 teams are evenly split between all-wheel drive and two-wheel drive. Skill will be much more important than horsepower given the treacherous conditions. The Canadian Rally Championship is presented by Subaru Canada. Confidence in motion. Championship points leaders Carré and Samuel Joyal are first on the road. With tire choice being the biggest question of the rally, Carré is taking a gamble. He's running an old set of Michelin C5s, a tire designed for deep snow conditions.
Dans l'endroit de 4 qui roule et qui referme. Qui roule et qui referme. Dans gauche 4 mi short.
But they have also proven to be effective in wet snow and mud. Near the start of the stage, they aren't looking like the right choice. But as the altitude increases, they could be a secret weapon. In either case, the reigning champions set the pace early on. As an instructor at Seattle's Dirtfish Rally School, Sam Albert has the skill set to tackle any road condition a rally can throw at him. Sam and co-driver Krista Skoukas have plenty of experience on these roads, but have had mixed results in the past. They've opted to run gravel tires on these stages, which is proving to be a handful outside the racing line.
5 plus left, okay, 100, 6 left, hug 6 left, 180.
Having finished just off the podium at Rally Day Fee, Dave Wallingford and co-driver Leanne Junilla are looking for steady improvement. With only 8 stages making up the rally, they're attacking the stages from the word go. But in these tricky conditions, a small slip into the snow sends them for a ride. A half roll causes little damage, but costs enormous time. Christian Ostrowski and Chris Galecki are next on the road. A veteran at Western events, Ostrowski knows there will be attrition, so a cautious approach is best. On the dashboard is the Rally Safe interface, flashing green to warn of Wallingford's car off the road. He nearly gets sucked into the same snowbank. Without any sign of the crashed crew, they stop to help Wallingford. In only his 6th event, the shake-up at the top has opened the door for Ken Warwick. With veteran co-driver Chris Kramer calling the notes, Warwick is proving to be both smooth and fast in these slippery conditions and is posting top 5 times from the start. The 2-wheel drive class is extremely competitive this weekend. Philippe Benoit's experience on the icy roads in Quebec are serving him well here in the mountains, immediately squaring off with Dave Clark and Jamie Willits. The conditions give Benoit the advantage, but Clark knows when to push and when to be patient. His BMW M3 also has a power advantage over Benoit's Mini. The defending 2-wheel drive champions Wim Vanderpoel and Brian Lord are slightly off the pace, but they earned their championship last year by being the fastest when it counted and not taking crazy chances. They're coming off a class win at Rally Day Fee and would love to repeat here this weekend. Nick Wood and Chana Imber's Datsun may look like a classic, but it's got a lot of potential under the hood, and they're setting quick times. The sun sets, but the action doesn't stop at the Pacific Forest Rally. The fans light up the campfires and cheer on their heroes. Ken Warwick's smooth and fast approach pays dividends in these conditions. He's up to 3rd overall after 4 stages. Sam Albert fights through the slippery stages to hold on to 2nd place. Karel Carré proves that old tricks still work, riding the skinny Michelin tires to a solid lead by the end of the loop.
T'as commencé à le pogner, là?
Ouais, mais à la fin.
Carré, Albert, and Warwick currently hold the podium spots. Benoit leads in 2-wheel drive in 4th place overall, only 2 seconds behind Warwick. Half of the top 10 drivers are in the 2-wheel drive class. It's a new day of rallying in the mountains when we come back.
Subaru has been in Canada for a long time, building a reputation as champions in the toughest of conditions. 13-time Canadian Rally Manufacturers Champion and counting. Claim your own piece of history for $29,995. Subaru, confidence in motion.
Welcome back to the Pacific Forest Rally, Round 5 of the Canadian Rally Championship. After surviving the Friday evening stages, teams return to the same roads for the start of Day 2 and are wary of conditions.
Yeah, the day looks tricky a bit this morning. Weather came in yesterday night, and we went with the tire choice for the C5 that we used yesterday morning. Seems like it's the right tire, but we'll see how it goes.
We went on gravels, we didn't do snows. I saw that Carter is back on his mud, so I think he'll be able to stay on the lead, but I think a lot of people behind us are on gravels as well. And then if Carter has a mistake, we'll capitalize. Other than that, we're going to try to keep staying on the podium.
And the competition is fierce in the 2-wheel drive class.
We got to start absolutely ferocious, not to let Vim reel us out. We'll try to not let that gap fade away and hold on. Push hard.
With almost a minute lead, Karel Carré and Samuel Joyal are first on the road again this morning. the test racing team came west to solidify a lead in the championship points battle. And without Joel Levac or Maxime Labrie in attendance this weekend, a win would give them a big advantage for the second half of the season. Their overnight lead allows them to take a more conservative pace this morning. It would be a shame to come all this way and end it with a crash, but the cattle in this area really do take the words free range to heart.
Droite 3000 short ici. Long gauche 4 qui reprend en 3 short tard. Long gauche 4 qui reprend en 3 short tard.
A close call, but Carré presses on. Sam Albert and Krista Skoukas have the best chance of challenging Carré. They have more experience on these roads than the team from Quebec, and hope to use that to their advantage today. While Carré is still betting on the narrow C5s, Albert thinks the gravel tires will be better suited to the conditions today. But before the fight can develop, a hub failure drops Albert and Skoukas out of contention.
Whoa! Okay. Well.
What?
Maintaining a consistent pace, Christian Ostrowski and Chris Galecki are hoping to work their way up the leaderboard today. They're off to a good start, riding that fine line between speed and traction and posting top times. Many of the two-wheel drive cars have managed to keep pace with the fastest all-wheel drive cars this weekend. The class is led by Philip Benoit and Peter Brook in the Mini, currently in 4th place overall and only seconds out of the hunt for the overall podium. They're pulling away from Dave Clark and Jamie Willits in the BMW M3. The American is losing time with a malfunctioning cooling fan. At speed, there's enough airflow to keep the engine cool, but on the slower sections, the temperature is rising quickly. Clark is under pressure from Nick Wood and Chana Imber in the classic Datsun. They win the Bravery Award, pedaling the rear-wheel drive Datsun to a second fastest overall time on the first stage of the day. They are followed by the Mark II Ford Escort of John Hill and Billy Irvin. The classic Ford is staying well ahead of the modern Ford of defending champions Wim Vanderpoel and Brian Lord, who lose time with 2 flat tires. Ken Warwick and Chris Kramer won't be baited into a costly battle on the morning stages. While they conceded 3rd place to Benoit by the end of the loop, they're still in a strong position to earn a spot on the podium. The road conditions are getting worse as the stage kilometers tick by. The surface is an inconsistent mix of slush, mud, and gravel. Warwick's conservative strategy could be the winning ticket. On the other hand, an aggressive drive sees Tony Torsha and Rebecca Rustin rapidly climbing the leaderboard. They're up to 6th overall. Carré ends the loop with a comfortable lead, followed by Ostrowski. Benoit, Warwick, and Clark are duking it out for the remaining podium spot with a spread of 30 seconds between them. The teams head back to service after the break. back in Merritt, British Columbia, and the competitors at the Pacific Forest Rally return to service to regroup and repair before the final push to the finish.
Yeah, it was really good actually. We had a blast. First loop was great. The tire choice was amazing, and second pass we just kept it cool, making sure we don't wear off the tire too much, and that's it. It was great for us.
We chose the right tires, AO34s, so that was the great choice. Second half was we had a seized rear left caliper, so pretty much every right corner was full sideways. Scary stage to be full sideways actually. Other than that, yeah, we fixed it. We managed to get through second stage, so we'll manage our speed and keep going, and hopefully if we're second, we're gonna try to keep the position for the rest of the day.
First run, we were on a lot of snow, didn't have snow tires, and it was just a bobsled ride for most of it. No braking, no control. So we took it really easy, happy to get down safely, played with some cattle. And then second pass through, it had opened up, melted, and we were able to put down a pretty good time, left a little in the reserve still, and we're looking forward to running in the afternoon on gravel. It's gonna be fun.
The battle for two-wheel drive supremacy is forcing all the teams to double down on the service prep.
We've been having some issues with the bolts in our rear diff. We've had one of those pop out on us. We've been tightening them every stage. This run, we ended up having throttle issues with it sticking full on, and cooked our brakes trying to keep the power down going through a lot of those hairy turns. But things started to come back on the transit back, so we'll get out there.
Very good start, but during the first pass, we damaged the tire quite a lot. It was a good gamble in the beginning, and at the end it bite us back a little bit. So, but no puncture, we're here and still on the lead. So overall, it's a good loop. Yeah, and the battle shift towards Dave Clark, who's got so much power and so he's so good on gravel. It's gonna be tough to hold him back, and already it took us, because of the tire that were almost gone at the end of the stage, it took us some time. So at the end of the day, I'm worried. For sure, I have to be honest, I think he's gonna catch us, but we'll do our best and having fun doing it.
All right, so the first run this morning, it was obviously really slippery. We were wishing we had snow tires. And then my throttle issue came back. It stuck open once, and then I was just really shy, going down that mountain for the rest of the night with a throttle that might suddenly try and kill me. So we were overly cautious. And then on the transit, we think we got the throttle thing fixed and had a little overheating scare, but that turned out to be okay. And when we hit the stage again, we found it to be mostly really grippy. And yeah, I drove in maybe a little anger, and our times were good. Our times were solid, and yeah, proud of that one. It made me remember why rally is so awesome. It was good fun.
Service complete, the teams head back out for the final stage of the event, a final sting in the tail of this rally, known as Spias. To recap, Carré leads with nearly 4.5 minutes over Ostrowski in second. Benoit, Warwick, Clark, and Torsha are spread out by less than 45 seconds in the battle for the remaining podium spot. All the cards are on the table for the final stage of the Pacific Forest Rally when we come back.
Subaru has been in Canada for a long time, building a reputation as champions in the toughest of conditions. 13-time Canadian Rally Manufacturers Champion and counting. Claim your own piece of history for $29,995. Subaru, confidence in motion.
Welcome back to the Pacific Forest Rally. The teams are all in for the final stage of the rally, but it will test everyone's perseverance. Based on weather reports, most teams have arrived on gravel tires, but they're about to face the deepest snow they've seen yet. The Canadian Rally Championship is presented by Subaru Canada, confidence in motion. Having led the rally from the start, Karel Carré and Samuel Joyal will once more be first on the road. At nearly 30 kilometers long, Spias is like Pacific Forest Rally's final exam, combining fast-flowing runs with sudden technical sections and plenty of gotchas. With almost 4.5 minutes in the bank, there's no way the defending champions are going to take any risks on this stage. On the other side of the coin, Ken Warwick and Chris Kramer pull out all the stops and make a major push. They find their rhythm in the sloppy mess, winning the stage outright and leapfrogging both Benoit and Ostrowski on the leaderboard to move up to second overall.
Caution braking right 4, don't. So that's left 5 into caution braking right 4, don't into left 4.
The stage is getting more slippery as each kilometer passes, and Christian Ostrowski and Chris Galecki are just focused on keeping the car on the road. They're determined to get to the finish, and stepping on the podium would be a major accomplishment after battling brake issues this afternoon. In two-wheel drive, lengthy repairs in service earned Dave Clark and Jamie Willits a penalty, dropping them behind Nick Wood and Shauna Imber in the Datsun. Both teams managed to keep their rear-wheel drive cars well ahead of most of the all-wheel drive cars, an incredible feat in the treacherous conditions. But it's Quebec's Philippe Benoit who owned the two-wheel drive class at the Pacific Forest Rally. Philippe and co-driver Peter Brook finished just outside the overall podium in 4th. Closing out the final few kilometers, Karel Carré and Samuel Joyal kept their championship aspirations in their sights all weekend. Skillful driving and careful strategy earned them the win on 7 out of 8 stages. Carré takes home the win. Warwick and Ostrowski round out the national podium, both stepping onto it for the first time. Benoit wins two-wheel drive, moving him back into the championship lead. As the only driver in the top 5 to travel west, Carré's win earns him a massive 38-point lead in the championship.
It wasn't easy. I mean, the last stage was quite something. A foot and a half of snow with gravel tires wasn't the best thing, but I mean, everybody had the same tires, so it was just steady through, making sure that we don't have a bad luck and that we're here right now. So it's amazing.
Well, yeah, so our first national podium for us. Chris and I have done 4 events together now, and we just came out here trying to have a clean finish. So, yeah, we're really, really happy. I mean, just couldn't ask for more. We're second place overall, and best time, last stage, so over the moon.
Well, we're happy to have first national podium. We're second, lost it on the last stage, but we're still here on the first national podium. The rally was a lot of problems, so we're extremely happy to be here.
This is the best possible scenario. Of course, it would have been better if Vim and Clark didn't have any problems, so it was till the end a big battle. But anyway, it happens to me so many times, as I said earlier. I will take it as it is. I didn't stall anything. We did work very hard, and that's the result. I'm proud of it, and I'll take it.
3 more rallies are left in the 2019 championship. Can anyone challenge Carré? Can Benoit claim his first two-wheel drive championship? That's all to come.